I think you have to get him going, for lack of a better word. I think they need to find a way to get him consistently a part of this offense in an active, tangible way.
So I'm curious, like, how do you think you do that? So to me, if I understand what you're saying, right, that sort of actually goes against my like philosophy on basketball, like where you're like, we need this guy to be the one to score. And so, we have to do something. Like, it's not sufficient that like, if this guy, if Karl-Anthony Towns was having an insane like +6 offensive EPM season, and wasn't scoring, it'd be like, this is not working out because he's not the one score. Like, I is that what you're saying? Or like, help me understand a little bit more. Like, you think he needs to be the one that's like, and how would that work? Like, he creates for himself or for others, or like, help me understand your perspective a little bit better.
No, well, so first of all, I don't know if Towns could have a season of games like the one he had tonight and impact metrics like overlook it and are still just like, well, like the spacing's there. Like, I'm sure he's gonna hit, his floor is really high, but I think that
they didn't play in the way I'm saying, right? Like, I'm saying he needs space and they need to be more Brunson Towns interaction, and also he needs to shoot well. Like, all those things need to happen, and none of those things happened tonight,
right?
Last night.
I think that if in my opinion, for those things to happen, what I'm saying has to be a part of the equation, I guess, is what I'm getting at. And no, I'm not saying that he has to be the guy or that he has to be the driving creator. I'm just saying that in order for him to, in my opinion, shoot hyper efficient like we know he's capable of, be in rhythm, consistently let the other players leverage his gravity and get that, and have that great spacing that he has, I do think there needs to be some effort by the team to make sure that he is at least a part of the system too. It didn't feel like they were getting him involved tonight at all.
I totally agree. The way that they tried to get him involved was post-ups, and I don't think that's the way to do it with him. Like,
right.
I totally agree with you. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't think that's the way to get him involved either. I mean, what was the joke we made? They turned Kyle Kuzma into a good defender in this game, like, with their strategy. It was no. I think there are ways that they can go about it that really. So first of all, I think there are tactical things they can do. If you go back and watch some of those Minnesota teams, when especially the last year with Finch, when Towns was on the court with Edwards and Naz Reid, no Gobert, and they were leaning into those 5-out lineups. They had really creative way. It's not like teams didn't know Towns was an elite shooter then too. They were trying to take him away too. It's not really fair to Mike Brown or to Thibodeau for that matter, because that was his first year dealing with Towns last year, to be like, oh, well, you should have these plays set in place. But I do think that there are tactical things they can do, draw up some sets that free him up in a way that catches the defense off guard, at least early on. And I guess my point is just that, and maybe I'm not doing a good enough job of explaining this, but I do think that there will be, the longer games look like they did last night in terms of Towns' role, his consistent involvement in the offense, I think there will be compounding negative effects on the team and how Towns' passive impact is on the team long term. And so I think they have to address that actively.
Yeah, there we absolutely agree. Okay, so we might agree entirely, to be honest with you. I'm not sure. I'm still trying to figure out like the disagreement here. So to me, any disagreement would come from Towns requiring a certain of like shots per game or something like that. To involvement to me is not like his shots or his points or anything like that. It's how often is he involved in the action, whether on ball action, whether weak side action. How often is he doing something to leverage him in a way where it's like we have this insane, uniquely skilled, uniquely gifted player, and we're maximizing whatever he does to a defense. Where we're shining a spotlight on that, and sometimes that might result in him shooting the ball, and a lot of times it might not result in him shooting the ball, and the defense is going to dictate what that actually results in. And so to me, that's what involvement looks like, and not put him in the corner. He stands there. That's not being involved. Whether he gets the shot or not, to me, that's not really utilizing Karl-Anthony Towns in the best way possible. So that's kind of what I'm saying. I think they can also utilize him in the ways, and I'm surprised they haven't done it more, but in the ways that Mike Brown utilized Domantas Sabonis. I think that he has a lot of those passing skill. And so there's tons of ways to highlight Karl-Anthony Towns. I also think he's just shooting poorly right now too. Like, that's just part of it. Like, he's just not shooting well. And every single player in the world ever goes through stretches like that. But Karl-Anthony Towns historically is like a low volume 3-point shooter who shoots a high percentage. Like, that's what he's been in his career. Like, his best shooting seasons, he shot 42% in 2018. He shot 3.7 threes per 75. That's 37th percentile in the NBA. That's extremely low volume. He shot 42%. Second best shooting season was last season. He shot 42% again. Shot 4.9 threes per 75, which is 38th percentile in the league. That's extremely, like, those are low volume shooting seasons. And he shot really, really high percentages. So it's not like he's like this rhythm shooter. He needs 10 threes per 75 in order to get into a rhythm. He just hits threes when he shoots them. He's just shooting poorly right now. And so to me, you get Karl-Anthony Towns involved by maximizing his effect on the defense, given his specific skill set. So whether that is his passing, his off-ball his off-ball spot-up threat via off-ball weak side actions, or direct on-ball actions that draws all of his gravity in a very much more direct way. And sometimes it's going to result in scoring, sometimes it's not. So that's my perspective. So you can tell me, is there a part of that you disagree with, or would you build on that in some way in terms of when you say getting Karl-Anthony Towns more involved is critical, which I agree with you. And also, if he's involved the way he was in the Bucks game, that will have long-term deleterious effects on the team, which I also agree with you.
No, that's my exact perspective.
Okay.
It's just, yeah, it's involvement doesn't have to mean like a baseline field goal attempts.
Okay.
Because
yeah.
we share the exact same philosophy. What was the example I gave? Like, if you put you or me out there in the corner and the other team just actively was like, we're not going to be within 15 feet of this person, like, how would it even be possible for, like, how many points would we have to score to not be a huge negative on the team? You know, like, it's a really interesting thought experiment across 100 possessions, because, like, even if, we shoot 33 pointers from the corner and go 10 of 30 or something like that and score 30 points, just absolutely killing the rest of the team's chance. Like, this is the opposite of that. So, like, of course there's a world where the defense just doesn't let Towns put up the box score stats or get the field goal attempts that maybe one would assume that a star offensive impact player has, but that doesn't have to dictate whether his offensive impact is actually really high.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So we totally agree on that then. It'll be really interesting to see what Mike Brown does, to be honest. Like, I'm very curious